Welcome back. Welcome back. Allie had to run to the restroom. She's very nervous right now.
Dasher actually polymorphed her into a cat, as you can see.
that's her over there now.
Right?
This is her, just
That's
right
Allie.
here. The Allie cat. Oh, okay. Welcome back. So yeah, the guards begin to come into the room. You see the two with their kind of tower shields standing at the door. They're kind of like reeling from the fact that two of these just went through a portal. They realize some of the few in the alley look down that hallway, see you in that corner intersection of the hallway. You look down the other kind of like the T-junction down to the right. You see the other two guards. They're kind of like, they have this like weird kind of like concerned look, like they don't know what's going on. They just know that like there's some kind of chaos happening in the castle right now. So they're kind of like looking down into the courtyard from their corner because they're on the opposite end of that that kind of like T-junction. They like look down and then look that way. You hear like kind of like a shout from down in the courtyard area, and those two guards kind of like, you see them kind of like put their hands on the hilts of their swords and kind of start to march towards Briar and Karan.
Karan. And she's gonna point to the guards.
The two ahead of you, or the three behind you?
Well, the three behind us, are they not like focused towards the feast? Because they
started to focus on you. They realized like, okay, these guys got this covered in here. You see them start to go towards you guys down the hall as well, and then two more replace them where they were standing to kind of like support that doorway.
So I'm not.
It's kind of hard to tell. You kind of almost get the impression that there's a lot of guards in that courtyard right now, more so than what you can see from your hallway.
Well, I tried to dimension door us about 500 feet, so I'm assuming they're like super far away. So I think I'm going to just like,
the ones in the next, like ahead of you, are a decent distance away. It'd probably be like 2 or 3 rounds before they would be able to get to you. They're not really necessarily running. They're just kind of like walking at an intense pace. Like this must be some kind of culprit or whatever of whatever chaos is going on. So it's just like almost just like they don't know what's going on. They want to detain you just because like, okay, we gotta settle this situation down.
Right. So she's gonna grab Karan's hand and start sprinting. And while they're like trying to go down the hallway, she's going to let him know as they go by that's the door to the kitchen. I
would say in the time that you guys make your way to that intersection, let me look at that little thing that I drew real quick. That you would probably run into them at that same time that they are making their way.
I'm gonna then I'll.
You said there's 2 of them, right?
Yeah. So they're almost like, they would meet you at that intersection. As you guys kind of like make your way, you would get a little bit more of an advantage, but then they see that you're trying to beam it forward like those back rooms. They start to move forward a little bit more too. And then you hear kind of like a pitter-patter of feet coming from the direction that you're headed, more up that hallway at the T-junction. And Coel slides into the hallway, like in the intersection, like she's like kind of like holds her hand out towards them, and they kind of like almost ignore that and go like right ahead of her. Princess, stand back! There's something going on in the castle right now. She's like, what is happening?
I don't know.
Ma'am, there's been an attack on the Queen and the King. We believe they are responsible.
What? We were eating breakfast.
Listen, just give up peaceably and we will solve this. She kind of like puts her hand down and then like stares and looks at you guys like quizzically, like, and then like looks to them. What do you mean an attack? We don't know all the details. There's been an attempt on the king's life.
What?
I will communicate telepathically to Coel. We know nothing of this.
Is he fine? I need to speak with him. She starts to go like your guys' direction. You see one of them kind of like grabs her and then like kind of puts her behind him. Ma'am, we don't know what they're capable of. She like kind of almost like slaps him or whatever, and she marches like she kind of like bats him off and then kind of like marches towards you guys, and then like she almost crosses your like path or whatever, but then she kind of like almost leaning up against the wall, like sliding past as she kind of like stares at you, and then heads towards the courtyard past you guys.
Come on, Kiran.
Are we actually far enough to get away still?
So are you trying to go further down into that hallway and then like cut up towards the rooms? They are now at that point standing in the hallway, like kind of like probably 20 feet from you as you guys have stopped, kind of like with her going past you or whatever. They're confused. These guards are like, they don't know what to do at this at this point. Like they're trying to detain you, trying to like, just they want to figure out, okay, what's going on? Like, I feel like we just have to arrest them or whatever. But they're not like super aggressive at this point, not at this moment.
I guess because I was still picturing us moving toward initially I was going to do a whole person rush to get past.
They haven't completely blocked that intersection, so it's like you got this T junction like this, and they would be on like one side of it and then you would be on the other side of it, so like they haven't completely blocked that, but if you start to go that way though, they would probably like step up to try to meet you or whatever. She came from that like upper hallway that you guys are trying to go down.
Okay, so you're literally vocally beckoning Karan to come.
Well, if you want to say something or do something, then I won't.
If you weren't saying anything verbally, I would telepathically communicate to you, like look at you because I know you can't respond. Be like, are we fleeing or not? And I would just look for your gesture. Which IRL I can't see.
So in your guys' hesitation, you see those three guards from the courtyard have now made their way to that corner, and they kind of like almost like slide into the hallway, like they have a little bit more pace. Stop them now! And they start to rush towards you guys. You see the other ones, they at this point do draw their swords and take their a few steps towards you, realizing like, okay, they're trying to head up this hallway. We're gonna not let them go that way or whatever. As these guards not as hasty as the three that came from the courtyard.
As soon as they draw their weapons, I'll start going in the direction that we were fleeing towards, and we'll cast a third level hold person.
Okay.
It
Let me
is
pull up their stats here.
I think it's a wisdom 16. I think it's a wisdom 74.
Okay. Let me roll that.
Sure it's
one of them is held. 18 on the other one. That one is not held. One of them kind of, and the other one, stand down now! As he kind of like walks towards you guys. So at this point, crossing his path would evoke an opportunity of attack if he decides to take it. Again, he is a little confused in the situation, so you can try to say whatever you feel like you would want to say, or do whatever you would want to try to do. But it will probably evoke an opportunity of attack depending on the result.
So that we don't get attacked, I'm going to grab Kiran and go invisible with him.
Okay. So with that, is it technically just a disadvantage on the attack?
I mean, they can try, but I would go invisible and start running with Kiron, so they would be swiping at air.
Yeah.
So.
And he's going to do that. I mean, seeing that you just went invisible in front of him, like he's gonna like just kind of like make a swipe at right where you were, so that would be evoking the opportunity of attack.
Like a dexterity saving throw for us, like trying to dodge.
It would just be disadvantage on his attack, I believe.
Okay.
Hold on a second. It's not giving me the buttons. I will roll this with disadvantage. Nope, it's not going to hit. That's a 10 and 11. 10 and 11. He just kind of wildly swipes at the air, and then he's like, and then looks to the other 3 guards, and then he kind of got the impression that you were headed up that way through that hall. So he kind of like shakes the other guy, and would that technically bring him too if he shakes the other guy with a hold person?
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I'll look at
You make wit saving throw at the end of each of its turns, so I imagine that you could probably say that it gives him advantage on his roll or something.
Okay. Let me roll that for him, for the other guard. Nope. Well, no, I got to roll advantage. Nope. It's 6 and 5. I'm rolling real low right now. So he's still held. He kind of just like, and then heads down the hallway. Where are you going?
We're darting for our rooms to try to grab our gear, or to even see if it's there.
You kind of go past as you're. So make a stealth check with advantage, because technically, there's still some guard presence here. One of the hallways, somebody marches that like towards where all the chaos is happening. Words. Crosses paths with the guard that was kind of chasing towards you, and they kind of like bicker and yell at each other, like, I think they went that way and go this way, and they kind of like go off that. So what's your stealth?
16 plus 1, so 17.
Yeah, they have kind of lost trail. They're just trying to figure out like exactly where you might be going. One of them, the one continues to head that way towards your guys' rooms. You've now by this point made it into the rooms. Or not into the rooms, but like into the outside of the rooms. Peering in, the doors kind of just like wide open. There's a few guards kind of like in and around the rooms, kind of going through the stuff.
They're going through our stuff.
They're going through the rooms, and it looks like they're looking for stuff. Yeah.
We're gonna try to grab Corona and I, because we've already talked about this. I'm just trying to save you from your internet connection at the moment, Blind. I hope you don't mind. We've already talked about it. He's gonna try to get Rowan and Asher's things, and I'm gonna try, as well as his, and then I'm gonna try to grab mine, Marty's loot, and Dom's stuff.
Okay. Roll me a few stealth checks. Let's just do 2 separate advantage stealth checks.
Okay. One's a nat 20.
Excellent.
Second one is, advantage on that one. That's the kanji one. I can't read kanji. I don't know why I rolled that one. That one is going to be a 15 for the second one.
Okay. Let me try this. Nope, they're none the wiser that you were in the room. They're kind of just like casing it out, seeing like what's in and around there. The other one comes in. kind of like relays what had just happened. Is like these guys just went invisible or whatever. I think they're involved in this. They've run from me, kind of thing. You guys are able to gather up your things. Yeah, and then you can go wherever you'd like.
I think we're gonna go to the cellar.
Gonna try to make it to that room, yeah.
Yeah.
Those 3 guards that you had passed, or that had been chasing after you guys, roll me another stealth check with advantage.
Okay. First one's a 13. Second one is a 5. So 13 is the highest.
13 is the highest. With the extra kind of like gear and tow that you have, you got some like rustling like sound of like just like belts, buckles, and the things moving from the bags. You see as they kind of like are marching single file, and then like one of them stops or whatever and like halts the other 2, and then with his spear, they went invisible. I think they're right here. How would you like to play that?
So
they are at so you're at another intersection.
Yeah.
They're headed up towards the rooms. You're at that intersection, so like right down that hall is where that kitchen room would be.
Keron, how do you want to do this? Because I think I would try to Misty Step.
You'll lose your invisibility when you do that.
Oh, okay.
'Cause invisibility is technically concentration, right? So if you would,
Right, yeah, it is.
and if he were to cast anything as well, he would lose his, I believe.
Yeah. So I guess we just gotta try to dodge.
I mean, yeah, we try to maintain the invisibility, but if that wasn't going to be an option, then I would probably pop my 4th level person. Because it's what you said.
Your 4th level hold person, is that what you said?
Yes, there's people.
So you can it's either or for you guys. So whatever do you want to try to just avoid the attacks? There'll be disadvantage attacks that they would be making against you. Or you can drop it yourself and try to do hold person.
No, I would say let's just try to go for the disadvantaged attacks first.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of like motions for either of them. They kind of like gather on either side, and they just start kind of like poking towards down the hall. Yeah, it's gonna be some disadvantage attacks here. So the first one, the lowest is 16.
Nope.
Well, yeah.
I guess I have to. They're just kind of wildly attacking. So, let
1
me.
through 3, 4 through 6.
I'm gonna roll a D4. If it's 1 or 2, it's Briar. If it's 2 or 3, it's Tukaran. So, I'm scroll to self. It's a 1. So that is a Briar. You kind of catch a glance of one of the spears as you're kind of like trying to like manage your way past these 2 guys. Oof. That is going to be 21 points of piercing damage.
Wow. Okay. I gotta make a concentration saving throw.
Okay.
I passed my concentration.
Okay. Again, one of the other ones wildly attacking. It's an 8 lowest, so it's not going to hit either of you. You're good.
Okay.
It's a 14 probably lowest. Yeah, 14 lowest. Was 14 hit?
No.
14 doesn't hit.
Mm.
Nope.
Alrighty. Yeah, so the other one doesn't hit. Go ahead and make me a acrobatics or athletics check to try and squeeze past these guys.
Okay. Let's see.
Her or both of us?
What's that?
Just her.
It'd be both of you, yeah.
Well,
I got a 16.
16. Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay. Karan, you guys kind of like in between the spear stabs get like separated. She like lets go of your hand as you kind of keeping the momentum forward. You make it past these two guards. Briar, it's going to be another attack. This time, just because you're on one side of the hall, it's just going to be two of the guards making their attacks. With disadvantage still. The lowest is a 14, doesn't hit. The lowest is a 9. Neither attacks hit.
No.
Roll me another dexterity. Roll me a dexterity saving throw as you're kind of like.
Okay. Dexterity saving. That's another 14.
Another 14. Oof. You find yourself prone on the ground as you kind of like dodged these spears. It is going to be a as they kind of hear this like this kind of
Prone
land to the
with a
ground.
14.
One of them is going to make a regular attack because technically you are prone. Spearing. Fuck. Okay, that is a 27 to hit.
Oh yeah, but prone with a 14?
Huh?
Nothing. Okay.
The dexterity saving throw was different than the acrobatics check and the athletics check. It's through this like trying to dodge the spears that are chaotically being kind of spun through the hallway. Ooh, you know what I did wrong? Wait, can I see my history? It would not have been 21 points of piercing damage. I accidentally added 2 different damages together. My apologies. There's a different character that does this thing, and I assumed that this was this character. It is not. So that would have been, what did I have to add together? That would have been 11 points. So go ahead and give yourself 10 points. It was an 11 and a 9, and I accidentally added them together. That's my bad.
Okay.
That's where the 21 came from, so go ahead and give yourself 10 hit points back. But then go ahead and subtract 11 from yourself again. That is another 11 points of piercing damage. As he kind of like finds the target with that, go ahead and roll your Constitution saving throw for your invisibility.
Yeah. Constitution saving plus...
Allie.
So that's 19. 19. I saved.
Your Constitution save, yeah. You maintain the invisibility. It is now your turn. Go ahead and do what you want to do.
I'm gonna keep. I have to hold my. I have to hold my concentration. So I'm hoping that Karan's just gonna go where I told him to, and I'm going to use my movement to get up. And unless the spear is like in me, or was it just
it's
like
more like he's going like that. Yeah, it was just like a poke with it.
Rod.
He's about to go for another one. And then he's kind of signaling to them that like it's right here. And then so they're kind of like both kind of like aiming in that direction.
Yeah. I'm reverse crabbing. I'm not like I'm.
So you're going
reverse
backwards.
Crabbing. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going backwards. And then
So it'll be
trying to
half movement with being prone. And
yeah, so you're separating us out because I would try to help you. I would try to pick you up at the very least. If you were to lose your invisibility, I'd cast my.
It's
whole
kind of like a tangled mess.
Yeah.
So like you got split just by the like that guard that's there. It's like a decently wide hallway, but it's difficult to maneuver around when there's 3 of them and they're just going wildly like forward. So you just kind of got separated for a moment. You're able to go back if you would like, or whatever you want to do, Karan.
I just want to progress forward with Briar. That's my main
With her.
concern. So yes, it's dependent upon what she, because I have no idea where I'm going. Even if you pointed it, I have no idea. So you stick with me regardless. And if it looks like you're backing up, you make the decision to careful.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do other than move forward with her?
I mean, I'm sorry. Are you saying that we're able to move forward? Like you are able to get away from him?
Yes, I can get away from him.
Okay, good. I heard backing up and crab back. I'm like, now you're backing away the way we came from. thinking there was separation. Okay, yeah, if we're continuing, let's just get. I'm not.
Oh, you were progressing forward. I took it the same way he did, as far as like you were backing away, not moving forward.
No, just like away from the spears, like trying not to get stabbed.
Yeah, so that would just be to get past him. It would just be one regular opportunity of attack that I'm going to take. Yep. 21 to hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
13 points of piercing damage.
Okay, and I'll roll.
As the spear, he kind of like awkwardly, as you kind of like crab walk kind of against the wall or whatever, he like kind of just wildly stabs towards the wall and kind of like finds true once more with one of the spear strikes.
Okay. Dirty 20. Still have concentration.
Still have concentration. You are able to use your action to stand and then bolt. Use your full movement. By this point, they are kind of like realizing that you got past or whatever. They're headed that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goal is to get us to that room. That is my one goal.
The door is closed, so it would be very obvious that you went in there.
I'm going to cast down the hall, like as a distraction. If
You
there's
lose
like
your concentration to cast anything else. You'll lose your concentration and the invisibility. You could try to see if they'll just go past, thinking that you booked it down the hall, like towards the exit, then not knowing why would you go in this room.
Like, would there be enough space to like press ourselves up against the wall? Like, how big are these corridors?
Yes, but dangerous. I mean, they're anticipating. They got these invisible people. They're not dumb. These are like kind of pretty good guards.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I'm saying like they're being very thorough with their like kind of like, okay, we're stabbing here or whatever. We're making sure, like, you know, if you ever played like Blind Tiger or whatever, like you feel the walls and you try to. So I mean, it'll be tough, but they're trying. They're looking for you guys hard.
So, all right. So, for breaking, you're ruling on this, Jim. For breaking invisibility, what is the breadth of an action like? Given like something down, right? Not making an attack. Would that break invisibility?
I mean, isn't it anything that would be considered an action? Would be aside from movement? What is it say?
That's what I want. I don't have it.
The spell ends if the target attacks or casts a spell. So
attacks or casts a spell.
So if we
that
threw
attacks
something,
or casts a spell, yeah.
If we threw something as a distraction, like
that's what I would do.
I think that's what he's trying to ask.
Yep. Okay, what are you trying to throw?
I am going to take out 5 of the pitons I have.
Okay.
Down the hallway.
Ahead of you or behind you?
Headed. So basically to make it look like we went further than we did. Hopefully they'll go past.
Like the sound, right?
Let me roll perception on them for them on that. I rolled 3 11s. They all got 11.
Wow.
Literally 10. Yeah, so they kind of head down the hallway. Seeing those there, they realize, okay, they probably got further than we expected. They pick up the pace a little bit and kind of like scrape the walls with their spears or whatever, and they head down the hall a little bit further. You see them make their way to that intersection, and they kind of just like looks like they acknowledge somebody down the like one of the hallways, and then they kind of like motion to go down the other way. The hallway is currently clear at this very moment.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take Karan into the kitchens, and so when Coel and I went there, I would like to see if I remember. There was no grate at the time, but is there just like a grate nearby that I could like cover or exit as we go?
Yeah, the grate was nearby. It was already removed. That's all. It's like she had
Okay.
it like just easy access, ready to go.
And was it like a slide or stairs?
It's kind of like a slide. Yeah, it's like a chute.
kinda-
It's almost like a laundry chute almost, but it's more of
Okay.
like it's kind of where they put their like compost almost, that they would just like as a compost chute or something like that.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard to get back up, but we were still able to manage it.
So you wouldn't have gone up that way. You would have gone out through. We didn't really touch on it or whatever, like how you would have gone up that. You wouldn't have gone up back through that way. You would have gone like up through a series of stairs or whatever that led to this cellar.
Okay. I'm going to.
I wouldn't say it would be impossible though. If you want to, it wouldn't be impossible to get up that chute.
Okay. So I'm going to take Karon and like after you. And once he goes down, I'm going to seal the grate. I'm just gonna put the grate on.
Okay. Yep. Like kind of like put it on behind you. Okay. And then you guys slide down into that little basement cellar room. For the moment, before we get too far ahead with the rest, let's go back to the other group. What are you guys doing?
Crying eternally.
So I rolled a nat 20.
Yes, and he had a 19 on his initiative. Yep.
So Rowan is going to really emphasize his
What
hands
is your
up.
total with your nat 20?
For initiative?
Yeah.
24.
24. And Asher, what's yours? You had a 19.
I forget whether it was a 19 or a dirty 20 with initiative.
You had a
plus.
19, I believe. You rolled a 19, I think.
Oh, so
right?
it'd be a 20 then.
Yeah, okay, so 20. Cool. Let me roll these guys. That. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Rowan, you're top of the line. What are you doing? The guards have kind of
Rowan's
like made their way. They're kind of like almost trying to like encircle you guys. You see some of the ones in the back that have entered behind the spearmen or whatever have heavy crossbows ready.
Rowan's just going to put his hands up and he's going to emphasize his hands. Hey now. I heard my name, and Rowan's just going to kind of flick his hand in that direction. And it sounded like a cry for help. I don't know what's going on.
You see one of the like heavier clad Kingsguard. Yeah, I'm sure that your friend would call for your help in slaying the king. Keep your hands where we can see them. He makes his approach.
Rowan's just gonna, okay, all right. And Rowan's gonna he's gonna turn around. He's gonna look, as he turns around, he's gonna look to Asher and Marty, and he's just gonna shake his head. And he's gonna put his arms behind his back. Willingly being...
They kind of like have two of the regular guards kind of like come over, and they on either side of you kind of like grab one arm or whatever and like keep you in control. They're kind of like a rough a little bit, but they're not like overly aggressive or whatever. They're just like trying to like make sure. And they're like, just saw two people just bolt through magic or whatever. They don't know what you guys are capable of. They're very antsy. They're very on edge. I guess before we do that, we should continue the initiative line. I don't know what the rest of you guys are going to do. If that concludes your turn, it is there's three of those kind of like heavier clad guys, the ones that kind of like spoke out against you. They have like their great swords ready. They're kind of like marching around to the other. Marty is just like, still got food in his mouth. He's just, but with them kind of like circling around to you guys. Just so technically one of them would be able to use an action. They're going to grapple you, Asher. But then now it is your turn.
Okay, yeah, so Asher, mid-cast of Polymorph, he's going to look at Rowan and be like, and he's going to fizzle the spell and grab his necklace to activate it. And he's going to send a message and kind of
Okay.
put his hands up and turn around while he's sending to Korea. Leave now. We've been set up. It's not safe. Don't use your name. Move quickly. Stick to the shadows. I'll always love you, Korea. And he'll just give up.
There's kind of a pause, but then there's like a reply from Korea. What do you mean you've been set up? What's wrong? We're already planning to head out as soon as possible. What? Are you okay? Please be safe. Love you.
Asher's gonna, with that, he's gonna take a deep breath, kind of look at Rowan, and just nod his head.
You see Marty just like immediately, whatever, like he's got his hands on his head too. He's like, okay. They come over and put manacles on each of you. So at this point, you guys are restrained. You see the tension kind of release a little bit. You see two of the guards, to like the kind of more elite guards, kind of like whispering, like talking to each other or whatever, and they kind of like eye you guys up or whatever. And then they kind of like call over a few other of the other guards. The other guards are kind of like nodding their heads or whatever, they're saying like yes sir, this, that, whatever. They kind of make their way over to you guys and they start to like pat you down, looking for artifacts, trinkets, everything. I don't know exactly what you guys would have, but they are taking basically all of your belongings that aren't your clothing, at least for this moment.
Would they
Nice.
remove like the necklace and stuff?
Yes,
Or...
they would.
I think everything Rowan has is with.
You get a sense
whoever-
that they're being cautious of like magic use items and stuff like that. Not common knowledge to all of them. That's why they were getting like from the higher end guys. They're like, these guys can do crazy fucking things. We need to take their like spellcasting focuses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Rowan's stuff would probably be with Karun now. He picked up Rowan's stuff. Whoever picked it up.
Mhm.
So
But whatever you
Yeah.
have equipped is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Rowan
it's
didn't
whatever
have
you would've
anything
had.
equipped.
Yeah, as far as like
Everything he-
necklaces, rings, and stuff like that, anything like that. Anything that you would have had in your pockets, stuff like that. You guys are then kind of marched out into the courtyard. The room where you initially heard the cry come from. You can see in just this thin crack underneath the door where there's a puddle of blood that is kind of like spilling out from the door, and it is quiet now. There's no more noise in there.
Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa.
You just see
Oh,
the
I'm-
blood kind of like is pooling out from the bottom of the door.
I'm gonna kind of like brace myself and look to the door, and I'm gonna go, Dom! Do I hear anything?
There's no reply.
And I'm gonna try to go to the door. I'm gonna.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength check. It'd be with disadvantage.
Okay.
Against with
I rolled a 17
these
for that
two.
first one. I rolled a 14 for the second one. That's a dirty 20 for Rowan.
Okay. You're able to kind of like almost like shrug them off a little bit. They were kind of like, they didn't expect like, oh, he's acting up, whatever, after having given up.
He's not
So
gonna.
you're
He's
able
not
to-
gonna run.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna run. I'm not
You're
running.
able to kind of
I'm
like,
going to,
yeah, you're able to kind of like truck them that way a little bit and make a little bit of distance towards the door.
I'm gonna basically bang my head against the door, like knocking on it. Dom!
Rowan.
I'm gonna
And he's
listen
gonna-
again. When did this happen? And Rowan's gonna look to the guards.
It all happened very quickly. It seems your friend couldn't wait to be king.
You didn't want to be king. I'm gonna rest my head against the door and press against it.
They kind of
and
like
just
grab
walk
you.
back.
And kinda
I'm just gonna
lift
I'm
you
just gonna
away.
walk.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. Just
This is they march you towards a room you've never seen before, kind of like one of the entrances before the courtyard that you would have entered, and it kind of leads what you thought was initially like the barracks. Turns out to be the barracks, but even further beyond that, kind of down a set of spiral stairs down into a dungeon, which seems mostly empty at the moment, kind of dully lit by torchlight as you make your way down into the dungeon. And you see kind of like this figure, not cloaked completely in black, but just completely veiled from the darkness, sitting in this kind of like a stool at the very end of the last few cells, sitting there with like just their hands kind of placed on their knees, fully covered in robes. And they take you to that last cell on the left. These kind of decently small cells, not separated by walls, but just separated by bars between them. They, given orders from one of the head guards, they begin to remove all of your clothes and belongings. You hear one of them say, "Give them the sackcloth." And you're given basically just sackcloth to wear.
Rowan puts on the clothes, I guess, and we're all in separate cells, just blocked by bars, or we're in a cell together.
So you are in this last cell on the left together at the moment.
Okay.
And the cells are just blocked from the hallway completely with these like really firm steel bars, but there are walls that separate the individual cells. What you can see from across from you is kind of like this figure in the dark laying on one of the beds in the other cell kind of across from you guys.
Rowan's not going to say anything until the last guard leaves. It's going to be quiet. He's going to be visibly crying. Tears have streaks in his face, but he's trying to stay stone-faced. So he's just going to look at the guard that takes his clothes, and he's just going to make eye contact with him.
He kind of like, it's one of the like more just regular Kingsguard or whatever. Like he is just like shell shocked almost himself. Like what the fuck just happened today? And he kind of like stares at you, kind of like quizzically, like almost like he can't make eye contact with you. Like who are these people? Kind of thing.
He's just going to shake his head. And he's just going to assume his spot in the cell. Is the guard gone yet?
Yeah, they begin to make their way, getting like new orders from one of the heads up, whatever you hear just kind of like the that fades as it echoes through the dungeon halls as they make their way back up, and it's quiet except the just the faint flicker of the torches that you can hear just kind of like burning quietly, and then the figure sitting kind of almost outside yourself, deeper into the little out kind of inlet of the dungeon or whatever.
Who are you?
You see, just from the shroud that the figure is wearing, just completely engrossed in darkness or whatever, just this slight like turn to like acknowledge that you spoke to them, and then kind of turns back.
I wonder if Bree and Corona are okay.
I think so.
You hear across the hall from the other cell, kind of like a rustling of somebody like kind of getting out of bed, and then just kind of like the pitter patter shuffle towards the grate, and you see these two hands kind of like grab the bars and like lean into the light, and you see the face of Asher Asterion. What happened?
I don't even know Asher. We got up. We went down for breakfast. Dom went to go talk to the Queen and King. And next thing you know, we're mid-feast. And we're surrounded for, what was the word?
Regicide.
I heard Dom call my name. It happened fast. There's nothing we could do. There's more 10 of them. More than 10. Brown's just gonna slip down and just kind of like brace his forearms and on his knees and just bury his face into his hands and just rubbing his forehead in frustration.
Why would they think you would do such a thing?
Because I don't know. We've done nothing but help people. We never do anything like this. They said Dom did it. Dom would never. Especially if his newfound family. You know how he is about family. I don't understand. I didn't know you were here.
I didn't think you would be here.
I didn't think so either. I've never been. Look around. Like this.
Well, to be fair, Rowan, we did meet in a cell before.
That's true. Just
Didn't seem so
not
bleak.
as. Yeah, I feel exposed.
Last time I was told, have faith. This time, I'm just hoping that same faith will pay off.
We all have to have faith in something.
It's not easy in times like this, but there's no way Dom would.
We were set up. They welcomed us in the castle. And how quickly. And can Rowan kind of put together the timeline on how fast it was Rowan hearing his name being called to the guards to the door? Like, that was really, really fast to assume somebody.
That is, I mean, from your perspective, very suspicious. I mean, as far as like, okay, like it hasn't even happened yet and they're already
Yeah.
But you also get the same kind of impression that like some were probably in on it and some were not. Some had preemptively gotten the orders like, hey, when this cue happens, go.
Fast it doesn't even. Asher, you heard my name being called, and next thing you know, they're coming through the door.
Guards were already there.
They were fast. I barely got out of my chair.
Something. We were set up for some reason, and I don't know who. I just hope that. And he's gonna like kind of reach over where the necklace is again and like feel it's not there and be like, I hope she gets out.
For what it's worth, I believe you.
Thank you, Asher.
You kind of hear some kind of like wetness or whatever from him as he kind of drifts back into the shadows, and like you hear him kind of lay back down on his bed.
Did they say anything about you? Are you
I'm sure you've heard more than I have.
actually nothing? We last saw you and that was it. Although we did bring attention of everything that happened. So I don't know if it happened or not, but Jathril was taking your father's place as the head of the order.
And your aunt
Jathril
was
Merritt.
being removed
Yeah.
temporarily.
Until they could sort out what's going on with you, but they didn't disclose anything. I didn't.
Temple might not have taken kindly to us removing the head mother.
No.
We've ruffled a lot of feathers in this kingdom.
It's certainly a way to make yourself a very big target. It's the way the darkness operates.
What we were trying to do is We're only trying to help.
That's the way
That's
it
all we
works.
wanted.
The light is additive. It only seeks to produce more light, shed light on things. Darkness can only operate by snuffing out any light. It only spreads by dampening the light of others.
I don't even think they're gonna hear us out.
We may have to be ready for that to be a possibility. It'll be your word versus theirs.
I was ready to go home. See my mom and my dad. My girlfriend.
I know
You
it
gotta make the
sounds-
best out of it, huh, Marty?
Yeah. That's all you can do.
It sounds bleak, I know, and I'm finding it hard to believe, but I think we'll make it out of this, Rowan.
I think so too, but I think at times I could be a little too optimistic, but I'm trying to hold on.
But I mean, you are the fated five. And I mean, most cases, fate doesn't have, the same effect when you're dead. So maybe have that hope?
I don't believe we would be sent in here to die. I've had the visions, and we're supposed to help, and we can't do anything from in here. She wouldn't send us to die.
Elena had hope for us too. I don't think Elena wanted us to be in a cell.
Crying made sense now. Last night, my deity came to me in a dream and didn't say anything, just cried.
Oh, that's ominous as fuck.
I think it was an apology for putting us in this position again.
Okay, so wait. That kind of implies that she knew that this was going to happen, and you're saying that you don't think that she wants you to be here?
I don't think she's gonna let us die. I think we need to be here. There must be something more to this.
Now, is that an assurance for you or all of us?
I wish I could tell.
I hope.
Hopefully all of us, because if I get back without this necklace, I'm not gonna live much longer.
Corey is gonna have you, huh?
Yeah. That one was Tambrin's.
We'll make sure you get out, alright?
We'll all get out. We just need to come up with a plan.
I'm just thinking about it right now, and I'm curious if Rowan would be as well, trying to put pieces together and things that he's seen, indicators, kind of like a hindsight 22 kind of a thing. When we walked by that kitchen, there was a guard that went in there and said something to the chefs. Would that throw a red flag to Rowan?
Not really, because you know that Dominicus told him to make blueberry pancakes.
I wish we would have seen this coming. We keep crossing paths, Asher.
Not so much the best of circumstances anymore.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the last time we met. I hope that you don't hold that against... I don't know.
You were just doing what you thought was best.
Once we heard your father talk, I couldn't take that choice away from you.
I'm sorry your father treated you that way. Treats you this way.
Listen, I am at peace with whichever outcome I receive. But just because I've given up in that regard, playing my own fate, doesn't mean that you have to. Just do your best to speak your truth. And keep your head on your shoulders, literally.
And we'll do just that. Rowan's just gonna lean his head back against the bars and just kind of close his eyes and think to himself, Dom. And just start crying. Unsure. Assuming the worst. With that puddle of blood there. And how his last word was Rowan, and he couldn't help him. I don't think I have a lot to say.
Yeah, I think Asher would probably just sit next to him and kind of like he's trying to meditate, but in reality he's just staring off into space, just head racing and just trying to not able to focus on anything other than just everything that's gone down.
You see is that you kind of notices that black garbed figure kind of tilts again, and you just see kind of just the slightest glint from within, and then it turns back, facing down and ahead kind of again.
So he's outside the cells, basically just keeping tabs on all of us.
Essentially, it seems, yeah.
An overseer or something?
There's like kind of a long several moments that passes by. And you see as that figure kind of like grasps at the robes, like with their like the black gloves that they're wearing, like grasps and kind of like clenches before releasing, and then stands up and kind of like turns to the to Asher's cell. You see them just facing into Asher's cell. There's like kind of a moment where they're just standing there like staring into Asher's cell, and then Asher kind of like eventually, what? You've been here all this time and you haven't said anything. What do you want? And then he like kind of stops mid, and then you see like Asher's face kind of tilt as if like he's being spoken to. And you see him kind of like process, like kind of in his head, almost like as if he's being spoken to, but you don't hear anything.
I'll
And then
open my
Asher
eyes
stands
at
up
the
from
movement.
his, Asher stands up from that or whatever, and then kind of like approaches the bars very like suspiciously, like almost like, and he kind of like walks up almost face to face, kind of towering over this figure as he does, and kind of like looks down. You see as the figure kind of like tilts up and then like tilts their head down and then tilts their head to the side, and you see a hand outreached, making no contact but towards the cell lock, and you hear just like a and then they put their hand back down, and then you hear the of the cell kind of opened. And Asher kind of hesitates for a moment, like kind of like unsure. And the figure kind of walks over to the bars and kind of opens the rest of the way up, and kind of like motions out the door. Asher takes a few steps forward, then looks over at you guys.
Asher.
Kind of puts his head down and then walks with the figure. You hear the kind of the pitter patter of his feet, bare feet in the dungeon floor, and then the boot of the figure.
Where are you taking him?
And there's no response from either of them as the sound of their footprints becomes quieter as they exit through the winding stairs up above. And with that, we'll take a break.
Oh no.
That was kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
Asher was like,
What do you mean?
not gonna lie, I was heavily debating following them.
Following them? Yeah.
Because wild shape doesn't take components.
Doesn't take components. Okay. Did that feel like that went really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah,
feel like
it
it. I think probably because it did technically, that was a short session part, because we had our wind up and intro and stuff. So I'm gonna end you. Be nice to the party. What do you mean? They've got a nice little living accommodation.
All of us literally like
the
this
energy
together
went
in
from
this cell.
dark to light. That is is almost the hour and a half mark. Yes. Free room and board. Exactly. What do you mean, guys? In this economy, we don't complain. Okay.
I mean, the meals were a little bit and the wait staff were fucking assholes, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
can't complain.
Room service, terrible.
Ugh. Okay. Yeah. So stick around. We're gonna watch the take a little breaky break, and then get back to the rest of the action in the party's situation. Oh, what fun! Oh, what fun! This economy don't complain. All right, break time. Ah! It's okay, guys. We'll get through it.